Just feels like this series with the Pacers and Thunder is kind of that critically acclaimed movie that you got on VHS. Poor Things was a great movie. American Fiction was a great movie. Well, unfortunately, nobody saw them. All they saw was Barbenheimer. A lot of people tried to give me shit about this. You don't know basketball. This guy hurts my brain cells. Put the fries in the bag, bro. Oh, look. The finals had one of the most historically low ratings of all time and is a total disaster. This is just, again, a critically acclaimed, one of the best finals that nobody talks about. It's unfortunate because it has been a great series, but I was absolutely right 1,000% on this. And every one of y'all that had something to tweet and comment, and there's to you. This is what I'm going to entitle kind of the best finals that nobody's actually watching. You know, to me, this is critical acclaim versus star power. I tried to warn you about this. A lot of y'all got angry with me about it. But it just feels like this series with the Pacers and Thunder is kind of that critically acclaimed movie that you got on VHS. You know, it's well acted, it's well played, but there's just not the national attention, and nobody seems to want to pay attention. You know, 2024, I heard, you know, Poor Things was a great movie. American Fiction was a great movie. Well, unfortunately, nobody saw them. All they saw was Barbenheimer. They either saw Barbie or Oppenheimer or both, and this is one of those matchups that has been a lot of fun and had a lot of intrigue and storyline. This is the youngest finals matchup since 1977 with the combined age of these two teams. They're two teams that have a zero luxury tax, which is also amazing. This is the first time since 2002 both teams in the finals are under the luxury tax threshold. That's the first time in 23 years. Indiana's, it's great. It gives me that Mavs 2011, you know, that same team coached by Rick Carlisle, now bringing another underdog to the forefront. Matter of fact, Game 1 comeback really mirrored the Mavs win versus Miami Heat back in 2011 with the ability to come back very late in the game against a team that was much better and seemed to be much more of a favorite on paper. Oklahoma City, meanwhile, I mean, this is a team that's fighting to be, at least by records and numbers, one of the greatest teams in records in all-time history. You got to remember, dude, Thunder had 68 wins. 68 wins is only behind Michael Jordan's Bulls, West and Wilt's 71 Lakers, and Stephen Durant's Warriors in 2016. That is the level they have performed at all season, and it is truly David and Goliath, at least by the record. There's an 18-win difference between the two going into this series. That is the widest finals margin since 1981 Celtics versus Rockets, as the Pacers, like I said, have kind of given that indie, like that Giants feel, Eli Manning 2007. I mean, the whole series, you know, started off with a bang. Mike Breen, you know, quote right there, Indiana's 15-point fourth quarter comeback in Game 1 tied the largest in finals history, matched only by the 92 Bulls and the aforementioned 2011 Mavericks. There's been a lot of cool guys coming off the bench and making names for themselves. In Game 3, Pacers outscored the Oklahoma City's bench 49-18, and Mathurin had 27 points in that game. That was the third highest in NBA Finals history, the most since Jason Terry. And then the very next game, loses his mind and misses a bunch of free throws and fouling people late and makes all sorts of ding-dong decisions there. I mean, other guys off the bench, you even have on both sides your plucky white little contributors.
That's a bad white woman.
I mean, you know, McConnell versus Caruso. You had TJ McConnell being the first player since 1973 to have 10 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals in an NBA Finals games as a reserve. Then you had Caruso come in the next game in Game 4, who had 20 points and 5 steals, and he had a plus 14 plus minus. That was the highest on the entire roster. So you got people that are kind of unassuming coming in and being these fan favorites. And then the star versus star, MVP versus what we've seen as Mr. Clutch in the playoffs. And right now, SGA's gotten the last revenge here. But I mean, you know, Halliburton struck with first blood, hit that game winner in Game 1. And then just last game, SGA has one of the best fourth quarters we've seen since Michael Jordan's Last Dance. So it's been, you know, great back and forth. And just unfortunately for everyone involved, the story, if it doesn't command our attention, there's only so much they can do. This is Moonlight versus La La Land. I heard Birdman, Spotlight, Nomadland, all those are great movies. Well, unfortunately, everyone hasn't seen those, but we have seen Transformers. You know, everyone saw Avatar 2 or Jurassic World or Twilight or the 19 Fast and the Furiouses or 50 Shades. There's just, it's an unfortunate part of life that without the intrigue and the big markets and the stars, you aren't going to get as many people watching it. But I will say, for all the purists, this truly has been a very enjoyable, well played, a lot of storylines, awesome series that has gone back and forth, and I'm very excited to see these last 3 games play out, and at least it's been fun in that way. But again, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. A lot of people tried to give me shit about this, and I have to talk about this right now because y'all got on my rabbit-ass nerves. I got to respond real quick to the commenters last week, something I usually don't do, but man...
You goddamn motherfuckers. You... waltz in here and you think you know everything, don't you?
I mean, look, usually I let stuff like this go. I'm just happy that people are engaging, and I wouldn't usually respond. But when you're as wrong as y'all were wrong this time about the finals and the ratings, and I tried to just warn you that this is going to be a purist series to enjoy, but don't expect the world to really be talking about it. Y'all got all pissed off at me and made all sorts of comments, and like I said, usually I wouldn't take the time to do it. I would kind of just let y'all, hey, you have your say, I appreciate it, and keep it pushing. But I got time today.
I told you I ain't got time for that. Today I got time, cuz.
Today I got time to talk about it. Last week, I tried to tell you the truth, and boy, did y'all go to your keyboards, man. All I tried to tell you was that this is going to be one of the more low-rated, low-watched series. Even if it's great basketball, this is the 24th and 27th lowest markets of 30 teams. That's the bottom 15%. The top 2 stars, as great as they are, don't move the needle. I mean, SGA, the MVP, is only 9th in jersey sales. Halliburton's not even top 20. The star in the crowd, Caitlin Clark, is actually number 2 above both. The MVP isn't a star yet. Hallie is still working his way up, and with no Steph or LeBron, the top teams not being there, the ratings were going to be in trouble. And boy, did y'all kick my ass for it. I mean, all sorts of shit. You don't know basketball. This guy hurts my brain cells. Put the fries in the bag, bro. We need to ban microphones. Why is this idiot bringing up jersey sales? And y'all bitched and moaned, and y'all made by far the most ass-kicking of comments I've had in a minute. And how'd that work out for you? How did that go? The results are in. Let's see if you little hot shits are actually as right as you think you are. Oh, look. The finals had one of the most historically low ratings of all time and is a total disaster.
You don't know shit about shit.
Game 1 was 8.9 million, which, as you can see, as I got the information here for you, that is the least watched finals ever opener since the Nielsen tracking began in 1988. In Game 2, 8.7 million. That was the lowest viewership in 18 years and is down 30% from last year. Even more alarming, that's the first time since 2007 that the Game 2 of the finals got lower ratings than Game 1 of the finals. So then you go to Game 3, had a slight uptick, 9.2 million, but that's still down 20% from last year, and that wasn't even huge stars. That was just Luka, Jason Tatum. So this idea that y'all had all the right, I gotta admit it feels good, but boy, y'all just, like I said, I try to usually just let this shit go.
You goddamn motherfuckers. You waltz in here and you think you know everything, don't you?
But man, I mean, this was just painfully obvious to anyone who actually follows and knows this sport. And I mean, you're going to have to learn to give me some credit at some point. I've been doing this for a long time, and it wasn't trying to be mean. Again, I'm watching and enjoying the series, but it just is what it is, man. The 24th and 27th markets with 2 of the kind of upcoming but not big names like Steph or LeBron were not going to equal the ratings. Y'all tried to give me all sorts of crap for it. Then lo and behold, we come and look at it, the least watched finals since they've been tracking the goddamn thing on the Nielsen rating. So I just had to throw that out there, man. This is the smallest market combinations we've seen since like Cleveland, San Antonio in 07, which also had bad ratings, even though there was LeBron in it. 2005 Spurs and Pistons is another one that comes to mind, or the 2021, the Milwaukee Bucks Suns. It doesn't always matter if it's entertaining or it's good basketball. You gotta have people that bring you the eyeballs. There's just so much competition in the marketplace to keep people's attention, and I just had a feeling it was going to go this way, and it ended up going this way, so I had to let you know. And in case you're curious, if you look at the actual high ratings and why, this was kind of obvious to anyone that knew what they were talking about, there's a lot in this picture here, but I mean, basically what you need to know, these are the 10 most watched NBA Finals games of all time. Look at the numbers. Again, 8.9, 9, 8.7 million versus 35, 32, 31 million. And yes, that's a lot of Michael Jordan in those games. And that's pretty much the entire top 10 list. However, there were other stars that did make the list as well. As I highlighted in yellow, those are some Boston and Lakers series as well, either Magic versus Bird or Kobe and his run. And then, of course, the third most watched game was LeBron versus Steph. So you can do what you want, you can say what you want, but when push came to shove, this is just, again, a critically acclaimed, one of the best finals that nobody talks about in that kind of indie Oscar winner, but just not the thing that everyone really wants to get into. It's unfortunate because it has been a great series, but I was absolutely right 1,000% on this, and every one of y'all that had something to tweet and comment and, give me all sorts of stuff about, there's to you, I tried to tell you. So, moving on.